Hi, from theilife.com. I'm Sydney San Martin.
And I'm Matt Dodd.
And it's been about a week since we started up our site with the Apple Store West 14th Street opening. And well, we haven't been doing that much regular content since then.
So we thought that we'd make a video podcast. And right now we're sitting in my basement after a couple hours of setting up and debugging all this equipment we have running. We are ready to roll.
Yeah, so this is theilife.com. So we cover usually whatever we think of in the Apple world and maybe in the tech world in general. So maybe in the weekly or whatever duration or whatever podcast, we'll I don't know, just cover whatever happens to be going on in Apple right now. Actually, at the moment, you got tickets to Macworld, right?
Yeah, I got tickets to Macworld, so I'm heading to Macworld on January 14th through the 18th, and I will be there for extensive coverage. Now, coming back to a post that we made earlier this week, we're building together 2 applications online. One is an SMS updater for your phones to get urgent updates from the keynote and other Macworld events, and the other one is,
well, might be a desktop app and or a web app, depending on how much you can make me code, which can bring any updates that are as urgent as the ones on the phones or less urgent to you live. So you don't have to refresh anything, and the page won't even be refreshing itself. Just as updates are coming in, they'll come into the feed in the browser, and any images that are uploaded, we'll be taking images to as the keynote goes on, will appear in a sidebar, and it should be really great. And the SMS app is part of that. It's just only more urgent messages are going to get sent out to everyone's phones. And we're already on a pretty good start to that, I think.
Right. We've got a month to go now. Today is actually the month to the beginning of Macworld. The keynote would be tomorrow.
Not a bad day to start out.
No, not a bad day to start at all. And so, but basically for this podcast, video podcast, we will be covering all kinds of topics, probably things that appear in the iLife throughout the week. Hopefully this is on a weekly basis, although that may not turn out. It may not always be a video podcast on a weekly basis. It may be audio over the phone, over iChat, video conferencing, something.
And also, we're not always going to be here. I'm going to be away for the next month, so we can do something over the phone or each record something separately. We'll find a way to put something together.
Right. We could also always bring in guests, too, because, that would always spice things up. Got a couple people we could bring in just to change it up. But also, just the content would be some stuff like iPods, iPhone development. Of course, we've got the forthcoming applications for iPhone in February, so that's going to be something that we're definitely going to be interested in. Developments with the site, all kinds of stuff. This is also open to any of you viewers. Please just email us. We'll get back to you really soon.
We started this up mainly as a resource for the internet out there, mainly trying to archive all Apple's videos together, but we really think we might be able to offer a little bit more, and the only way we can do that is with input from the users.
Right. So feel free to send us anything from complaints about how we code the site to spelling and grammar errors to whatever you can find or have fault with.
And we have actually already gotten one post on a forum actually complaining a little bit about the code on our site. And I just want to clear up, we do care. We both worked on sites before and spent a lot of time in the W3C validator, and we like pretty code and well-formed code. But lately we've been getting a lot of stuff up, and we've been just spending a lot of time trying to get the site off the ground, so we haven't had that much of a chance to clean the code up, but it will be happening.
Right. Over this next month before Macworld, we're going to try and settle things down a little, get everything working correctly, which it is actually, which is awesome.
For most people. Right.
There's some complaints with Firefox, but, this is the iLife. We should be using, Safari. Whatever. We develop for all browsers, Opera and whatnot. Actually, Opera users have been saying that it works fine.
That's a good thing. By the way, it looks like your computer is going to need to be plugged in pretty soon. You have 14 minutes of battery left.
Oh, okay. Well,
we got your power adapter here?
No, it's upstairs.
Maybe we should just start closing that up. Basically, today's podcast is probably going to end up being about Macworld, because that's the big event that's coming up. A lot of people are talking about it, and the rumor mills are starting to run. So right now, we're just taking a few minutes to introduce you to the site, but as soon as we finish with this and get a power adapter, then we'll go into our Macworld Rumors Roundup, or whatever you might want to call it, that's not so corny and rhymey.
Right. But consider this the introduction to the iLife podcast. Now, don't confuse that with the daily iLife, which would be the daily Mac video you get every day in iTunes and online, if you choose to subscribe to that. So this will just be the iLife podcast. And if you'd like to name it, we're always open to creative names. But for now, it'll just be the iLife podcast. So that's it for this short introduction episode. You can look for more content coming very soon. We're trying to do a macro show shortly for predictions. So
okay, yeah. And the only thing I want to add is just the end. As far as naming, we do realize that being named the iLife might have some kind of conflict with Apple, but we're definitely not trying to use it in the same sense as that. We did take inspiration from the fact that there is an app out there, or a suite of apps called iLife, but we're looking at it more as I being, the prefix of this age, with iPods and all that,
right,
and the iLife, and the life that a lot of people around here seem to be living.
Right. This is in no way associated with Apple or any of their companies, affiliates, etc.
And we're not really planning to release any kind of media office life suite of programs anytime soon.
Right. This is about living in the digital iLife. So
yeah. Either way, with that, let's get to the next episode.
All right. With that, see ya.